want to talk about Brock Purdy's performance against the Arizona Cardinals because I think some people are going to be focused on the wrong things. This is not any sort of reevaluation of Brock Purdy, but this is one thing that he needs to get better at. You might be thinking, well, Guy, I know what you're going to say. He was a 54% passer. That's his worst completion percentage in 18 games, almost a year. October 15th at Cleveland last year when he was under 50%. That's the last time he was 50% or worse, 54% or worse, including the postseason. Nope, that's not it. You might say, well, it's his fourth multi-interception game. If you watched it, you know those 2 interceptions were more aberrations than bad decisions. But this right here on the screen, this is a thing that he needs to be better at. And he's really good at a lot of stuff. But this was a really key situational moment that he made a bad decision, and it did contribute to costing the 49ers the game. What is this? It's a third down. There's 3:53 left in the third quarter. So a lot of football still to play. But the Niners are up by 10. At minimum, they've got a chance, even with Mitch Wisnowski, to kick a field goal, go up 26-13, and make the Cardinals at the end of the game score a touchdown. All right, instead of a field goal to beat them. The ball is at the 17.5 yard line. To get to Mitch Wisnowski's field goal range, we know they just need to get to the 15. That's what Kyle Shanahan said after the game. So he said it after the game, which means here they knew it. He could have communicated it to Brock Purdy. Certainly Brock Purdy should have been aware of it. They should have talked about it on the sideline. Hey, Brock, we need to be at the 15-yard line to be in field goal range. And in a 10-point game, that helps us. All right? So what happens here? The 49ers are 2nd and 14. Getting a first down, getting a touchdown really feels like it puts the game away. But at minimum, they just need to not go backwards. And Brock Purdy makes a critical error. He was a good runner for the most part in this game. He ran 4 times for 33 yards. That's 8 yards a clip. But by this point in the game, if you were watching it in the flow of the game, you know that he'd already made some sweet Allen Iverson crossover moves. He made some really nice plays. He'd already made a really nice scramble on this drive. And the one thing that really stands out about him when he scrambles to throw is that he goes backwards often. It helps him create space. It helps him buy more time. It helps him get a throwing angle over big guys who might be running around him. And what ends up happening on this play is he runs around for 11 seconds. Even Brady says this is insane. You can see the image on the screen. We have lost sight of the 15-yard line. We have lost sight of the 20-yard line. We are going the wrong direction here. Hey, guys, I got to interrupt myself to tell you that PrizePicks is sponsoring this video. Go to prizepicks.com and use the code GUY. You can also click on the link in the description or download the PrizePicks app. When you use the code GUY, it's very easy. All you do, you load $5 in and you make a lineup. A lineup is just 2 or more players, and you pick more or less on whatever number is available. It's awesome. I love it. I usually make lineups of about 3 players. You can go up to 7. You want to go big. You can have flex plays where maybe you make a lineup of 5 players, but you only need to hit 2 or 3 of them to win money, or you go big and you try to hit all of them. And it tells you right away what your odds are going to be. So go to PrizePicks code GUY. Use the code GUY. Not go to PrizePicks code GUY. Use the code GUY. You put $5 in, you make a lineup. Once you make a lineup, you don't have to win it. You will immediately get $50 into your account. PrizePicks code GUY. He ends up getting sacked, a loss of 9 yards. It says 9 in the book, but it brought up a 4th and 23. So it's 9 yards. I guess that's correct. He loses 9 yards here. And the Niners get pushed well out of field goal range for Mitch Wisnowski. And then it brings up 3rd and 23, and they get incompletion. And then it's 4th and 23. And if Jake Moody's in the game, you know what? It's fine. Jake Moody can kick that field goal. But Jake Moody's not available. And he needed to adjust. He's used to playing with Jake Moody. He didn't have Jake Moody. And I thought this situation was a great learning experience, hopefully, for him. It's such a fine line for a quarterback to be a playmaker and also be smart. And it's a difficult line to walk. And even the best of all time try to make plays and sometimes make mistakes. Patrick Mahomes will make mistakes because he's trying to make plays. It happens. So this is not some, reevaluation of Brock Purdy as a player. It's nothing like that. But this is something he needs to get better at. And there were 2 picks that were not his fault, really. Fumbles, not his fault. What happened on defense? 54%. There could have been some better throws, some better decisions. But this is really, when you see this team, right, you look at the way this team looks right now at 2-3, with the margin for error already razor thin and getting smaller. They can't afford mistakes like this. And whether it's Jake Moody back soon, whether it's some other kicker they pick up off the street, whether it's Mitch Wisnowski again, whatever it is, when you've got the lead, you've got to be smart. The 49ers historically, well, we know they've never been a comeback team under Kyle Shanahan. They have been a get a 10-point lead and end the game early team. And if you go back to what Kyle Shanahan has done with this offense this year, and you saw it when this game started, you've seen it multiple times. They'll start a game just like taking shots. But by the time they get that 10-point lead, like it's time to play smart football again, not play new football. You can play Garoppolo-style football with a 10-point lead late in the third quarter. Run the football, make smart plays, don't get negative plays, don't turn it over. And they didn't do any of that stuff. They had negative plays, they turned it over. The running back turned it over, Jordan Mason, obviously. And hopefully this is something that they were able to figure out. Because if you go back to what Brock Purdy, remember he made a comment in the offseason about being more like Brady, and Mike Silver wrote about it, and people took that as like, oh, he's trying to become a superstar. And then he went on Tim Kawakami's podcast and explained what he meant. And he said when he looked back at the 2023 season, there were just several series where he realized he could have made a smarter play and just kept him on the field. Instead of going for a big 15-yard play, maybe it's 6 yards, and then it's 6 yards, and then it's a first down. And that was going to be a focus of his this year. It's a good focus, and it still is a focus. You're not going to be perfect on it. But this was, with Tom Brady in the building, by the way, this was the moment to make that play properly, and he didn't do it. And who knows? Maybe he makes it properly. They get to the 15. He throws it away. All I'm saying is you throw it away here, and you still just need 4 yards to get in the field goal range. Maybe they missed the field goal. Or maybe they make the field goal, but, the Cardinals, when it was all said and done, settled for a field goal at the end of the game. Maybe they end up scoring a touchdown, you lose anyway. This game does not come down to one play. But when you're looking for room for growth, when you're looking for a guy who's proven to be so mature at his age, he's taken big steps forward, where do we find areas for him to get better? It's not his efficiency. I know he's an efficient quarterback. It's not his turnovers. Those 2 turnovers weren't about him today. But it is about getting better situationally, and they blew this situation, and that can't happen on Thursday against the Seattle Seahawks.